Welcome back, people. And now we are going to talk about our essays on Spark and Nash. Okay, so my name is Robinson Lamudilon, and this subject is English Stylistic, taught by Máximo Encarnación Gomera. And this is my essay on Sparks and Nash by Reinaldo Disla. The play, Sparks and Nash, written by Reinaldo Disla, and translated into Spanish by James Edward Parsons, is about marital problems. When a couple decides to tie knots, both the man and the woman promise each other unconditional love and to carry on with their union until death do them apart. But that is not always true. When people get married, they bring along their own issues, their own personality traits, and people do not people do not forget or change their personalities or bad habits just because they decided to get married. Therefore, there will be situations in which disagreement happens because of the differences in their personalities and also in the way each of them deal with the stressful situations, financial situation, or emotional crisis. According to statistics, the Dominican Republic holds the highest divorce rate in the continent, not only in the Caribbean, but in the continent. Marriages is split up because of financial situations, unfaithfulness, domestic violence, lack of intimacy, family matters, lack of communication, and many more reasons actually. From 2013 to 2019, a skyrocketing number of divorces took place in the country. That is, that from 140,000 couples who got married, actually 214,000 couples got divorced out of 316,000 who got married. One of the major reasons to divorce nowadays is domestic violence. This type of violence takes place when one of the spouses proceeds to assault the other. But domestic violence goes far and beyond physical assault, and it's the verbal attacks, and it's most likely not to be reported, and also the psychological attacks that happens behind closed doors. The writer portrays on the play how domestic violence takes place in thousands of homes worldwide, millions of homes worldwide. And unfortunately, the Dominican Republic suffers this type of crime and until their partners take their lives away, which is the worst scenario. In Sparks and Ash, we certainly see how divorce affects not only the lives of the grown adults, but also the lives of the little ones. It's Eddie's and Rosemary children who suffer in the play, and so does the life of young boys and girls in the real world when their parents decide to break through. There is a huge emotional distress after the separation of the adults. To sum up, it is important to understand the fact that once two people decide to live their lives next to each other, there will be problems, there will be situations, and we must not give up on the first strike. But we must fight for our loved one, we must foster communication, we must renew our love, we must drop monotony and cherish our beloved one and avoid violence at all costs. That's my essay for Sparks and Ash.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to present my essay on Sparks and Ash. Marital problems refer to all types of issues and inconvenience that occur in a couple relationship who share a home, share a house. In Spark and Ash appear many marital problems as when Eddie crashed a crystal on the floor. Rosemary recall on Eddie, although he does not pay attention to her recalling. People around the world used to deal with marital problems due to lack of communication. So domestic violence, it occurs when one of the members that completes a home turns violent against the other. In the play, Sparks Nash, Eddie hits Romero's face and they get into a struggling and roll over the floor. People must understand that violence does not help to solve problems. Violence generates violence. The solution is to get seated on a table to communicate each one's dislikes. Jealous is a manifestation of insecurity about a person who is engaged or in love with another. In the present play, Rosemary does not trust in Eddie's faithfulness due to she mentions about other girlfriends Eddie has had before. People need to have the others trusting in one another. People may get that by changing their behavior. Drug addiction is mostly a social problem than being familiar. But in fact, it firstly inside homes and schools. In Sparks and Ash, Rosemary says to Eddie that Michael is smoking marijuana since they are separated. Eddie staggers many times due to his alcoholism. Around the world, there are many people who is struggling with their addictions. However, it is just a matter of volunteer. In brief, marital problems are so difficult to eliminate from marriages. For this reason, all couples need to use communication in order to solve or to secure health marriage. Above all, comprehension is also a main tool to solving most of domestic violence cases. It is right, it is right to mention that jealousy is what causes most of the marital issues in the world. For this reason, couples must erase unfaithfulness forever out of their lives. Because of marital problem, drug addiction is most of the time dragged into the home. Reynaldo Disla wants to teach people to learn about the main causes that brings problems to their marriages, as also how to solve them. I really agree with the message because it's correct to know problems first in order to find the way to later solve them. Now what to 2020.
Hello everyone, my name is Rosanjivita and I will present my essay on Spraxenage written by Reynaldo Disla. The play Spraxenage written by Reynaldo Disla is about dysfunctional marriage, which are dysfunctional conjugal relationship that the doesn't play out the proper capacity. That is that the couple don't sincerely uphold the members or cultivate correspondence some accomplishes, suitable challenge they accomplish or plans or sustain the couple for life. In useless conjugal relationships or conjugal connections, one or of the two accomplices regularly feels a little clash about entering others' private words without authorization. The individual accepts that what is their partner's is likewise theirs. And beyond a shadow of a doubt or consent that can apply to material things, missing feeling plans or wants. The evidence of the functional marriage is found in the play when the couples is always fighting and complaining between them due to disrespect, distrust, or simple things like characters incompatibility between the couples. Rosemary and Eddie are always fighting between them. First of all, insecurity and distrust are also found inside the dysfunctional marriage. Distrust is one of the main problems inside marital problems. Distrust is said to be absence of trust or confidence. At the point when an individual distrusts another person in a relationship, it implies that the individual can keep in the couples or they have lost the confidence between them. Insecurity is a feeling of uncertainty and a lack of confidence or anxiety about the couple. Those problems are found in the play when Rosemary is always doubting about Eddie's, and anytime that he gets out of the house, he's thinking about that he's cheating at her. On the other hand, most cases that cause distrust in a relationship is jealousy. Jealousy is generally refers to the thoughts or feeling of fears or insecurity or distrust inside a relationship. One of the partners is always thinking that his or her lover is cheating at her or simply is stopping of loving her or him. The person, normally a jealous person, is possessive with the couple and think that when the individual is not always with them, they don't feel really well and they don't feel complete. And they are always acting in a possessive way every time. Rosemary is always acting in a possessive way, and it's every time that Eris doesn't pay the attention to her that she really needs, and she feels that their marriage has to be solved. On the other side, domestic violence is another problem inside a dysfunctional marriage. Domestic violence alludes to fierce conduct between the current or former intimate partners, commonly where one accomplice attempts to apply force and authority over the other. Generally through fear, and domestic violence can incorporate physical, sexual, verbal, spiritual, and even financial management. Inside a play, it's found physical and financial abuse. The physical abuse is found when Edith hits at Rosemary's face, and the financial abuse is when Rosemary asks his husband for money and he refuses. To sum up the play Sparks-Anash, we have to mention that we have mentioned many different facts that compose a dysfunctional marriage, such as insecurity, jealousy, abuse, domestic violence, and jealousy. Those problems are the main causes of divorces all around the world. The outer message inside the play is that inside of a marriage, it's necessary to avoid having those problems by trying to solve them by communication between the couple in order to not come out into divorce. I totally agree with the author. There are many factors that can cause divorce and marital problems. We just have to respect each other's and give the correct place to our couples. Thank you very much. That's my essay.
Morning, guys. My name is Dinelson, and this is my essay on Sparks and Ash. Sparks and Ash, a play written by Reinaldo Disla, is about marriage. Marriage is a legal recognized union between two people. Marriage implies respect to each other, um, implies sharing the lives together. It is a very delicate concept. Therefore, there are many aspects that have an influence on it. Um, they are um, jobs, love, and respect. Starting by jobs, they are the work a person does in exchange of money. Jobs are very time consuming and very stressful. Therefore, they can get in the way of a marriage, causing hard times and trouble. In the already mentioned play, um, the jobs of the main characters um, caused a difficult situation on their marriage. Um, it led to argument. Another point worth considering is love. Love is a warm feeling of devotion um, to another person, a feeling um, of willingness to do anything to protect that person. And love is often what keeps marriages together, intact. Um, an evidence of love is found in the plot of Sparks and Ash, um, because even though the main characters face many hard times, they preserve their marriages. Um, Next, respect. Respect is defined as a feeling of admiration, someone delegated to allocated to their qualities by their qualities and characteristics. Respect is um, very important in any aspect of our lives, especially in marriages. The lack of respect will eventually bring adverse consequences. Um, Evidence of lack of respect is shown in the plot of the already mentioned play when the main characters argue and say like negative things to one another, and they do violent um, actions. They perform violent actions. Taking everything into consideration, Sparks and Ash, written by Reinaldo Disla, shows that how complex marriage is. It shows that jobs um, can bring adverse consequences to it. It shows that respect is an important ingredient for a happy marriage, and that love is what keeps everything together. Without love, marriage is not possible. The message that the author of this play transmits is that marriage is complex, but it's worth it. I agree with it. I believe that lovers have to do everything it takes to preserve their marriage because um, getting divorced will bring adverse consequences not only to them but also to the people around them. Thank you very much for listening.
Hello, my name is Yomari Lopez, and I'm going to share with you my essay on Sparks and Ash. The play Sparks and Ash, written by Ronaldo Dislan, is about psychological drama. The play takes place in a scene of a theater. This drama is stirred in a cast where the two actors, Eddie and Rosemary, do the acting of what a conflict of two Mary are like, what is behind the scenes, and that not everything is acting. Many of the things that they said and do in the play, it is not only part of the cast. Those are also situations that happen in the life not only of the actors but also in the real life of the people. First of all, the scene begins with weirdness, the bored state of something because you have experienced too much. This is what Eddie and Rosemary want to demonstrate. This situation that a couple can no longer stand in a relationship that involves fame and public life alike. The couple harasses each other to the point that they think they must seek for help because the relationship is not okay. And the psychological damage they are doing to themselves is not good for them, for the way they treat each other. When everything is in the relationship is not working properly, the blows and the need for the actor's affection is of utmost importance for the need and feeling both share. In the play, it is shown that all this does not denotate overnight, but that they are situations of years of problem after problem without being solved. Secondly, fairness, the act of being wild or turbulent, the storm of violence. This couple of aftershow have fully predominate in an unstable relationship. The first, they scream and the horrible words that can affect the couple psychologically. When all this happens, then it comes to the anger with aggressiveness and the blow of the object between them. This lack of respect for one to another, who no longer cares if a mistreatment at home is reflecting on other people. This becomes a more dedicated step of the relationship. Fairness is seen in the play when the man hits the table and destroying everything and also hitting the woman several times. Thirdly, insensitivity. The fact of not worrying about something or not being able to react to a situation. The actors reflect the insensitivity when the man does not care about his daughter and the necessity that his daughter has. The man prefers to drink alcohol instead of buying milk for the kid. But it's not only the man who reflects this. Also, the woman with her way to act without taking into account that a baby is present. The couple did not take into account how this affects their children psychologically. To summarize everything, this work reflects how the relationship of the actors are, but not only that of the actor, if not many couples who face these types of situations. Understanding that one is in a toxic relationship, it is not easy to take a decision. And even someone decides to continue regardless of the psychological damage that this may cause to both and the children they may have in common. In my opinion, this situation is something that begins with the lack of the communication, the lack of understanding, and the idea that couple must endure this situation just because couples do not show society that a relationship failed or did not work. When something hurts and we realize there is no solution, it is better to leave it and take new path. Thank you so much.